respected former labor leaders of our various labor movements in Nigeria that are here with me. Today I welcome you to this World Press Conference by the former labor leaders of Rivers State. The title of this press conference is titled "The Collapse of Democracy in Rivers State. Where is the organized labor?" That's the title of this conference. The collapse of democracy in Rivers State. Where is the organized labor? Permit me to stand on the existing protocol and read this press conference to you and the world. Good afternoon, my comrades and gentlemen of the press. You have been invited here by the leadership, the former labor leaders from Rivers State, to address you on our position, the undemocratic rule in Rivers State. Ordinarily, as the former labor leaders were not supposed to lead workers to protest the collapse of democracy in Rivers State, rather than the organized labor that is saddled with the responsibility of defending and protecting the nascent democracy, whose it yet to see reasons in the state that we found ourselves. Tomorrow, 18th April, will be exactly 1 month when the President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, in the most undesirable and absurd pronouncement, Rivers State crisis, declared a state of emergency. The suspension of the democratically elected governor of Rivers State, Sars Nalaye Fubara, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odo, and members of the State House of Assembly for 6 months. To cap it all, the President appointed Vice Admiral Ibok Ite-Evas retired as the sole administrator of the state, in which we considered a brazen and flagrant discretion of democracy and the rule of law in our dear country, Nigeria. Furthermore, democratic and legally obligatory prerequisites were also thrown overboard by the National Assembly through their voice vote. This is for the first time in the history of our country in such an issue that have to do with emergency. And you're talking about 2/3 majority, but the Assembly through their voice vote endorsed President Tinubu's state of emergency declaration in place of the constitutional prescribed 2/3 majority in Rivers State. Gentlemen of the press, as far as the former Labor Leaders Forum is concerned, such mindless takeover and destroying of fundamental principles of democracy in such an absurd manner in Rivers State amount to the suspension of democracy and the Constitution of Nigeria, and inviting military dictatorship, which the appointed sole administrator has begun to accomplish. Of course, you will agree with me that appointing a sole administrator to take over the affairs of the democratically elected governor in Rivers State amounts to like the issue of the 1985 down into when we had military dictatorship in government, coups after coup. And what has happened here in Rivers State can be assumed to be like a military coup or will I say a democratic coup existing, or military coup existing in a democratic institution. And that is the kind of situation we find ourselves today in Rivers State. May God help us.
Amen.
The sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ebas, acting out of a script by dismounting existing democratic structures in the state, arbitrarily appointing sole administrators from the local government council, dissolving and reconstituting boards, commissions and governing councils, is a sinister agenda of a state captured that may likely, for we at the former Labour Leaders Forum believe in, that may likely befall all other states, as the case may be. It is therefore our strongest opinion as the former Labour leaders in Rivers State to call on the organized labor, the NLC, the TUC, at the state and national level, to actively join hands with the well-meaning Nigerians, civil societies, organized civil societies and other good people of Rivers State to bring to an immediate end this disastrous, undemocratic precedent that had been unleashed in our dear state. We foresee danger. And so therefore we need to call on Labour to quickly join forces to see how we nip these issues on board as quickly as possible to avoid a danger that may consume us as a people. Organized labor, especially in Rivers State, as a major stakeholder in the socio-political and democratic and economic emancipation of Rivers people, should not be sleeping while the state apparently is on fire. The selective application of states of emergency in Rivers State, while ignoring the states that are constantly blocked by war security challenges in the country, is undoubtedly questionable. The forum is absolutely at loss to apprehend the political crisis and upheaval in Rivers State that has warranted such extreme measures taken against the people of Rivers State. It is very glaring that this decision is taken in bad faith against the good people of Rivers State and Nigeria. On a very good standing, we can boldly say that Nigeria, as a sovereign nation, cannot stand or succeed without Rivers State. The former Labour Leaders Forum in Rivers State therefore called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reconsider his actions and recall Sas Nara Efubara, his deputy Professor Ngozi Odo, and members of the State House of Assembly in the interest of peace and democracy. Let me reiterate that this forum stands in strong solidarity with all well-meaning people of Rivers State to navigate through these challenging times and deeply emphasize with the people, and the frustration they are passing through, deeply sympathize with the people and the frustration that they are passing through as a Rivers people. Gentlemen of the press, you will agree with us that the emergency rule in Rivers State underscores the severe difficulties being faced daily by the sustainability of livelihoods in Rivers State. In conclusion, this address will once again call on the NLC to live up to its mandate of the Nigerian workers and the masses, or immediately put the towel, because we cannot continue to see the NLC, that is the voice of the common man, that stands for equity, fairness, and justice, to fold our hands for 1 month now. Nothing has been said in order to move this issue and nip it to the bud before it gets out of hand. If NLC is not ready to pursue this democracy that we're enjoying today and to sustain it, they should be ready to put in their towel and leave the office. Sincerely speaking, as the president of NUPENG and the former president of NUPENG, we sacrificed so much in the struggle of 1999 Jewish production in protecting democracy in this country. We paid the sacrifice. Our leaders died. Most of our labor leaders died in the course of fighting for democracy to be sustained. And there is nowhere in the world that you will find these absurd principles of democracy, where an elected governor, without due processes, and elected assembly members, without due processes, will be suspended abruptly, meaning that democracy itself in Nigeria has been suspended, the Constitution of Nigeria has been suspended, and we cannot allow to accept or fold our hands and continue to see where these kind of challenges will be befalling us. Our prayer is that the labor unions, organized labor unions, will wake up and begin to ask themselves questions. Where is Nigeria heading to? We have a lot of crisis on our hand economically. We must not allow this to elude us, this little freedom of democracy that we're just enjoying, to go down the drain. Gentlemen of the press, thanks for your rapt attention as we charge you to continually remain the apolitical watchdogs of the Nigerian society. Thank you and God bless you.